story so far. So we are a sleeper. So we have a robot body with synthetic organs. We escaped from our corporate indentured servitude, but we're kind of taken in by a very Yakuza organized crime, mafioso coded person. And so we kind of became an indentured servant to them because there's a thing we had to keep taking or else our body falls apart, which is definitely not any kind of allusion to some sort of like hormones or anything like that. So without stabilizer, we just die. But the start of the game was basically us finding a way to get off of the stabilizer. And that was like just the inciting moment. Unfortunately, our memories have gotten scrambled. And also, the mafia guy doesn't like that he doesn't have control over us anymore. So we kind of did a runner with our comrade Seraphin here. And unfortunately, because of my series of fuck-ups, we haven't been able to fix our ship in time. And now the mafia dudes people have caught up to us. And so that's why I was saying we might die. And then I'll have to start again and probably zip through some of the tutorial stuff. I kind of know what I'm doing now, but it would be very annoying. I can do it. You nod. There's nothing else to be said. Time is up, and this is what it's come down to. I'll be at the controls, waiting. Seraphin gives you a nervous look. When you're back in the airlock, I'll burn hard. With this 2 fuel we have and the no supplies, and the me starving. He clasps you by your shoulders and looks you in the eye. Then, without saying anything, he releases you and glides out of the room. You drift down to the airlock as quickly and as quietly as you can, slipping into a suit for protection. At least you think as you secure the seals, you don't need to breathe. The banging subsides. Hope the hunters have left, even though you know this is only the quiet before the storm. You take a moment, waiting inside the airlock as it cycles. The second the exterior door begins to open, you go. As you dash out of the airlock, the scene in front of you appears as if in slow motion. You see 2 figures a little way down the docking bridge wearing dark spacesuits, a canister being carried between them. Meanwhile, floating between you and them is a heavy-duty cutting torch, knocked spinning by the opening of the airlock. You see the release levers in yellow hazard stripe, just beyond the hunters. You know you're lucky. You know you have only a moment to make your move. Well, once again, the fact that we are absolutely useless at engineering is fucking us. Let's rush for the levers. Shark-sided. See, we got a good luck charm. The shark is here to help us in space. Thank you, shark-sided. Bam! And if you need some I almost said porcine. What's the I'm trying to think of the right term for sharks, but it's evading. If you need some shark assistance, then you can go to that side over there. Shark. I hope you're having a good evening, shark-sided. The 2 hunters try to grab you as you pass, but you spin away from them, struggling through their reaching arms. As you do, you reach out to the lever, stretching your fingertips to wrap around this end. That's it, I'm canceling our collab. Yeah, I guess. Look, Shark, you just gotta bear with them, okay? Otherwise, they're gonna spill the tea. You should. Between the both of you, you have all the excrements covered. That's half a functional person, allegedly. You clasp the head of a lever, and the momentum wrenches it out of its housing. The whole bridge rumbling and twisting as one side comes loose. As you kick off the other side and use your face to pull the other lever down, or use all your force to pull the other lever. The operative used your face. What am I, a snake? As you kick off from the other side and use all your force to pull the other lever down, You feel the fizz of projectiles slicing through the air around you. The hunters are firing. The scream blocks out all sound. You feel an urgent pull tugging you away from the ship. Tunnel bends sickeningly and comes apart. You're close enough to the ship that you manage to kick back, away from the twisting storm of debris that the tunnel becomes. You see the dark suits of the hunters among it, retreating towards the station-side airlock. But as they do, a hail of projectiles slices across the void from their direction. You have no time to react. You're carried backward by the hunters' stun rounds, their impact shutting off whole sections of your frame. You spin towards the open airlock. Your vision flashes with warning sigils. You feel a distant throbbing pain. The final faint things you feel before you lose consciousness. The impact of your body against the interior wall of the airlock. The hiss of the cycling system, and the heavy weight of the ships in full burn. Whee! Now the problem is now I'm down 2 dice. I have no supplies. I am probably failing a bunch of my quest lines. We still don't have the fuel lines, so our range is limited. I feel like we might be in a bit of a death spiral, but we'll see what the game gives us. What the? Seraphin's quiet question wakes you from your haze as the rig cuts across the belt. You try to move and feel a wave of flickering pain pass through your body. You flinch and steady your nerves. Find yourself strapped into a seat in the cockpit. Seraphin doesn't seem to have noticed you're awake. You open your mouth to speak, but no words come out. There's a crackle of noise that echoes through the ship's comms. Seraphin is glancing nervously at his console. Something has him spooked. Sleeper. The voice, as distorted as it is, cuts through you. Lane. I know you're there. A hissing pause. Why did I pull my snake out? Dang it, go away. You are slipping away. A squawk of noise. But we can't have that. You don't understand why Seraphin isn't reacting to the sound of Lane's voice. And you realize you can't hear it. The voice is in your head. I take this personally, Sleeper. A sharp intake of breath. After all my investment, my care expended upon you, this is how you repay me. See a little something glinting out there. Lane continues. Could that be you? You don't move. You don't breathe. All you hear is Lane's voice. Something shifts in you, sudden impetus. A will to move that is not your own. You unclip from your restraint, drifting forward towards Seraphin. Seraphin looks over his shoulder and sees you. You're up. You look surprised. Take it slow, all right? There's a transmission coming out of Hexport. Some kind of evac order? He turns back to his console. Let me check this. Oh, fuck! We're being puppeted! Oh, no. Don't you fucking do this. No. You keep moving forward. Something isn't right. You don't feel right. A numbness grows from your body. Your fingers flexing without your input. You reach out towards Seraphin. No, not you. Something reaches out to Seraphin through you. He turns again to see you reaching for him, grasping at his neck. Attention flickers in his eyes. Ear. A hissing silence. Then a rumbling blast. All at once, the rig screams. System seizing in electromagnetic paralysis. All at once, the rig shifts, carried on some shockwave of light. Pain. Then darkness. The flux. Things are getting even more fucky. What's going on? Voices echo warmly throughout your mind. Can't quite make out what is being said. And any attempt to focus causes a growing flare of pain. You let them fill the air. unidentifiable and soft. You're floating, so you cannot yet feel your body or its weight. Feeling is pleasant, soothing. Yet the moment you realize this, it begins to fade. Pain shoots through your system, a reminder of the terrible damage you have suffered. It's a bright, white hot for a moment, and then it's gone. Something spasms in your fingers. You flick it away. A sensation crosses the sole of your foot, and you kick your leg. A weight settles itself in your chest. You're awake. You open your eyes to light playing across a surface patterned with stained cushioning. You're alone. The voice is replaced by the hum of air cycling, the distant clank of maintenance systems. You're alone, and this is not your ship. You jerk upwards against the straps that hold you loosely to the berth, suddenly confronted with the last things you remember, an overwhelming numbness, and below it, an insipid animating force creeping through your mind. You pull at the straps and free yourself, floating up to the small habitation room, cushioned and worn, your mind racing. What happened? You search back and remember only Seraphin's shouts, the sudden acceleration of the rig, and the darkness. A chill runs through you. Cold light fills the room. You float over to the dark square of the window. You see stars, the bright pinpricks of drive trails, the skeletal docking bridges. This is a station. A sudden hiss draws your attention to the door, which slides open with a puff of equalizing pressure. Hey, Bliss was in the first game. She's grown some hair. Nice, nice. Unfortunately, I'm a shit engineer, so I don't know how much I'm gonna be help to you. The entering figure jumps as they see you're awake. You're up. They hesitate in the doorway. Where's Seraphin? Your friend, right? He laughed nervously. I'm not really sure. He headed out a while ago. I'm Bliss. I shrug, not sure of what to add. Your friend Seraphin? Is out, sorry. He brought you here. Here? Right. They nod slowly. This is my room. They glance around. Not much, I know. You're in my repair bay, on the far spindle, if you know where that is. How'd I get here? They look around the room again. Come on, let's go somewhere a little more comfortable. They hold out a hand. You are safe, don't worry. You follow them out into the corridor, gliding behind them. They move with the ease of someone who is either born in zero-G or has spent most of their life in it. They guide you to an enclosed balcony where heavily scratched, thick acrylic windows look out into a chaotic-looking wet dock. The center of the dock is the rig, scratched and worn. It's still your ship. It is a reassuring sight. She okay? She will be when I'm done with her. Bliss sees you staring at the rig. Took some damage. She's a hardy old thing. Your ship. Bliss pauses. You were lucky. I heard your distress signal. You sense they're holding something back. I guess that expensive long-range array I was tricked into buying finally paid off. They laugh to themselves. Well, at least for someone. You were out cold when I got there. Have been for all cycles since. Ren wasn't in great shape either, but he bounced back fast. I make a habit of doing that. Seraphin's voice makes you spin around. Good to see you up. He can't suppress his smile. Glad to be back. He nods. Your eyes fall to Seraphin's bandaged abdomen. He notices and pulls his jacket over the wound. Certainly looks better than when you came in. You should have seen... Bliss abruptly stops after Seraphin glances in their direction. Here. Seraphin pulls a few chits out of his pocket. Catch. He slings them over to Bliss. All I could get for now. Working in your condition? Seraphin sighs. Please, I'm fine. Bliss looks at you apologetically. I know what it looks like, but I'm sorry. I can't work for free. Keeping this place going is bad enough. I get it. Seraphin nods. We're just thankful you towed us in. We aren't freeloaders. Bliss looks between the two of you. I'll let you two catch up. They turn to you. Wait. using they pronoun? Could have sworn Bliss. All right. Well, good for them. I'm glad you're awake. You were worried. They pat you on the shoulder and glide back down the corridor. With Bliss gone, silence descends on you and Seraphin. Both of you unsure of what to say. I wonder if we're going to get any mentions of Bliss working with the sleeper on the eye then. It'd be a nice little nod to the previous game if so. What happened? What do you remember? He looks at you with concern. Lane. Seraphin grimaces at the mention of his name. Lane? He shakes his head. Seraphin looks out at the rig. He takes a breath, steeling himself for what he has to say. Hexport is... Clears his throat. It's gone. Flinches. No! Oh no! Fuck, that means Nem and Junie. I was thinking maybe we could go back later and pick them up. Fuck. Man, that's a bunch of shit. What do you mean gone? It's gone. Seraphin catches your eye. Dropped off the map. No signals, apart from the ones sent from fleeing ships. He frowns. You don't know what happened. No one does. Your mind skips, unable to focus on the information you've just been told. Think of the constant activity of the bends, the rumble of Factory Row. Harston. Gone. By the time Bliss reached us, we had drifted out of range. You couldn't have seen it go up, but I saw a sleeper. Something exploded, white hot. He rubs his arms, suppressing a shiver. A moment later, a shockwave was on us. The rig was crippled. Engine kept firing, guidance went offline, sending us arcing out across the belt. He drops a hand inside his jacket, pressing against the bandage on his side. Managed to get her under control, not before we started spinning. The restraints came loose and we weren't even strapped in, so we both got scrambled. He smiles a weak smile. Felt like being trapped in an auto wash. Turns back to you. Impressed you made it, to be honest. Flesh and blood human would have been smashed to pieces. He goes silent. The image a little too raw for him to consume. To be to do with us? Can't believe it. You and all the belt. So we know for the... Okay, so I think this game is set... If Bliss is here, so... It has to at least be a couple decades. Because there's a mention of the corporate war. There's the flotilla that made its way to the starboard sector, which is here, which Bliss joined. But if Bliss is here, they should have spread the word of the flux, unless that wasn't the flux. All anyone is seeing is debris and radiation. Picked up a lot of ship transponders before the rig went offline. Maybe some people got out. Stops, unable to add anything more. We both float in silence for a moment. So we lost our tail? Seems like it. He looks away. At least that shockwave would have burned our trail right out of the belt for now. We already owe Bliss for the work they did on the rig, and it isn't finished yet. 2 more cycles, I've been told. Bliss wouldn't hold us hostage. They don't like to skip out without paying, even if we could get the rig started up. He rubs his necklace between his fingers. Bad karma. Beyond that, we need work, fuel, supplies. We need to make sure you are okay. He counts off the issues on his fingers. I am not, in fact, okay. I am pretty much not okay, buddy. After that, he shrugs. Haven't heard of anyone coming after us. And if they did, they'd have to come through Hexport, or what's left of it. He looks away. The far Spindle is way out of Lane's territory anyway. Call this bit of the belt the Wash. The stations here run differently to Darkside. So for now, we have some freedom. Seraphin sighs. Freedom to go broke, starve, and get into even more trouble, that is. In all honesty, I was hoping you might have some ideas. He pats you on the shoulder. I want to explore this place. The far Spindle? Plenty to see. The free station. No one faction holds control, so it's quite the circus. Watch your step out there. Serpent pauses and stares down. Look. Sleeper. He rubs his side. Not sure I can work right now. I just got kicked out of a salvage yard for passing out on the job. He looks away. Even with the pain meds I've been able to scare up. I can fly. That's for sure. He stares obstinately at the rig. But you're gonna need some crew if you want to do any serious work. He chews his lip. I'm sorry. Don't be. Seraphin nods. Thanks, Sleeper. He turns away. I'm going to take a rest on the rig. I'm wiped. You look out at the rig as he leaves. The warmth and softness of your waking moments now feeling like a distant memory. Is this what you wanted? Freedom? A chance to work for yourself, not Lane? Well, here it is. All the problems and complications you could imagine. And at what cost? Could Lane have wiped out Hexport just to try to end you? You shiver at the thought. If there's not Lane, then who? Theories cloud your mind. Could it have been Conway? A drone or mine drifting starward? Senate stat, perhaps, with some plan to weaken the belt. Or a belt faction, attempting to flip the board by intent or mistake. Belt had considered itself safe from the war brewing in the inner system. But now, Hexport's loss will be felt all across the starward belt. What does that mean to you? Your needs are much more immediate, apparently. Those must come first. You run your hands along your body, feeling the marks and holes left by the hunter's weapons. You know you're in that moment. You should have been irreparably damaged by the encounter. You realize these scars are reminders. You will not be caught like that again. I swear it. You take a breath. Time to make a plan. Glitch. Penalty from repairing dice and Lane's hacking us. Maximum of 6. Roll a glitch, you increase your chance of rolling glitch dice. Each time you roll a glitch die, clear 1 level of glitch. 80% chance of a negative outcome, 20% chance of a positive outcome. I see. And I have to actually use it to... Oh, fuck. Off to a great start here. Okay, 4 cycles to repair the rig. Bet I can't repair my damn self. Well, I already have bad odds on this anyway. Let's help the residents. Ow. Do I need to succeed on a roll? Not going down, though. Maybe I misunderstood. Okay, so we can work here and earn a meal. Will also get us... So that'll get us energy, and it looks like we can build rep there. Let's have him source supplies. Oh, so it's anytime it makes a glitch die, it goes down. I see. Noted. I don't know. I don't really mess with any of those all caps. They collect way too much data. I don't care for it. All right, and then fitty. What is this last place? Scrapper's ship. Buy scrap. Process raw scrap. We can earn scrap. Processed plates. All right, I imagine that might be used for something. Man, I'm gonna be honest, I feel like I'm really being punished for taking the hacker class as the start. In the first game, out the gate, there was a lot you could see as the hacker working in the digital space. We haven't really run into like a digital sphere here, which leaves it being a straight pure skill check thing. And a lot of the actions have been very engineering focused, very physical focused, which are explicitly our greatest weaknesses. Potentially even a weakness we can't even fix, because it doesn't look like I can even spend skill points to fix our endurance. Frankly, like, it's really looking like I need to just, the best thing I should have done was not spend those 2 skill points and save up for 4 so that I can remove my engineer double malice. Because this is pretty much killing us. Might as well explore the core. Ah, we're starving. Great. Well, is the game different now? It definitely is permadeath iced, so it's definitely going to be a much more lethal. So I guess it might be a little bit more up, a little bit more what you're looking for. I'm certainly in a pretty fucked situation out the gate. We are not doing well, and it's only getting worse, baby. Yeah, different place, different person. We're a different sleeper. You awake to the sound of blaring proximity alarms. Quickly unstrap from your bunk and dizzily take a glance around. Lane? Bounty hunters? You kick off and glide to the door. As you do, Bliss pops their head around the corner. Sorry, they look a little sheepish. In all honesty, it's not my fault. The wiring's all backward. Takes you a moment to understand what's happening. Steady yourself against the door frame. Sorry, I'm just a little jumpy. I get it. Bliss looks down. Didn't mean to wake you. Takes you a while to get ready and drift down to the mess to see what's happening. And then Bliss has turned off the alarms. You find them unspooling wires from a hatch you'd never previously noticed in the mess's ceiling. Sorry again, sleeper. Their voice comes through the ceiling panels, muffled and dull. You settle at a stool, neatly tucking your legs behind the crossbar. How are you doing? Me? Bliss's muffled voice echoes around the room. I'm working. Pause. Let's keep my mind off things. How's the ship? Bliss spins deftly, hooking their legs into the open ceiling so that, from your perspective, they're hanging upside down. Almost done, if you can believe it. Their messy hair floats around their head. A couple of cycles worth of diagnostics, I'll be happy enough to release her back to you. The yawning Serpent drifts in. He looks between the two of you, amused. What are you both doing up so early? You and Bliss exchange amused looks. What? Serpent asks. You didn't hear the alarm? He shrugs. Heavy sleeper. He drifts over to the mess's cupboards to hunt for some breakfast. You turn it back to Bliss. But they have disappeared back into the ceiling panels. Before long, the mess is filled with the shrill screech of a power tool. Seraphin looks totally unaffected, hooks himself onto a stool, lazily sucking on a ration pouch while he taps away at his slate. The screech finally stops. After a while, you kick off from your stool. Time to head out. Bliss rushes after you, stopping you in the passageway before you can leave. I have something I want to show you. Ah, great. What's wrong with our ship? This leads you off the main corridor to a corner of the ship you don't remember visiting before. Come into a room with a low sloped ceiling. A single round window illuminating some neat tool storage and a workbench set out on the wall. Look, Bliss begins. I'm a specialist. I'm a quick learner and good at repairs. They smile. And I think you have need of me. They glance at you. At a tear in the thick vinyl skin of your arm. Can I take a look? Yes, please. I'm very fucked up. They smile and lead you towards the workbench. As they turn your arm, looking at the tear from all angles. They reach over to the workbench and take a small sealant gun from the rack. Look at the setup. It's basic, but it looks clean and well organized. They gently close the tear with sealant, pressing the edges together so it closes up neatly. After they're done, they release your arm and you can barely see the scar. Bliss admires their work. See? They smile. No, it's more serious than a tear. Bliss folds their arms. But I can handle it. They turn and search through a set of metal drawers for a moment. Here. They produce a couple of carefully machined, pristine components. I'm saving these for an important job. They wink. Yes, I just found it. Bliss pushes the components into your hands. Take them. When you're ready, come up here and we'll fix you up. These are rare to find, though. In future, might have to make do with something lower quality. They wince. You find scrap components at most scrapper ships, like that one that's hanging around in the underhang. The better the components, the easier they'll integrate with your system. Bliss leans on the workbench. I'll do my best to keep you running. Might help me. You're a guest in my bay. Can't have my guest bodies collapsing, can't I? Plus, I think it'll benefit me if you think of me as indispensable. Bliss smiles. I should get back to fixing the ship. They leave you in the workshop, among the simple tools, considering the particular qualities of your new friend. Oh, I'm dying. Yeah, we might as well visit Five Pebbles while we're here. Okay. Repair. Okay, we'll fix 1 dice each. Noted. Okay, we need to get food. Let's work for it. Ooh, 4 energy? Nice, nice, nice. Alright, we will study some manifests. Ow. As you glide through the Pinnacle docks, you hear shouting echoing down the corridor. Tentatively change direction. Your eyes fixed ahead as the passage widens out into a large bay. Others rush past you, heading towards the commotion. Your eyes are drawn by the bay's vast viewing window, which is currently being splattered with glittering shards of ice. In front of it, a dockworker is shouting to anyone who will listen. Spacers! Workers of the far Spindle! We need your urgent assistance! Water carrier Springtide has suffered heavy damage in its transit from Wellspring! He takes a breath. All able hands! We should help secure the cargo! Without this water, Far Spindle will struggle to support you! He looks desperately at the crowd. Please! Any of you are able to help! Please make yourself known! Behind him, a corona of ice ejects from one of the tanks, drawing a pale halo around the ship. A handful of experienced-looking spacers push through the crowd towards the front. Dock workers start to direct them towards the nearby bridges. You watch the scene unfold, hesitant in the face of making someone else's problem your own. Now the question is, does reroute the throw give me saving spring tide? Because there's no fucking way I can do this. We'll have to see next cycle. Because we are going to eeps. You jerk, suddenly awake. A fragment is lodged in your mind. A shard of sound, a signal, a tone. It resonates like tinnitus, obviously internal, inescapable. Look down to see your hands blurred, fingers dancing as if they were typing. Settle them. Fingers flap like caught birds. Take control. It takes all your focus to settle them. You force yourself back into them, the sensation like squeezing on a pair of tight gloves. You flex your hands a little to feel them, test them. What was that? Take a deep breath to calm yourself. But as you do, you're reminded you don't need to breathe. A claustrophobic sensation that you cannot shake. You get up, push off from the wall, and pull on your clothes. Anything to escape the dreams that hover there at the back of your mind. Seraphin drifts in casually, heading to his bunk to grab something. Can't shake the strange sensation that is just drifted into your mind. He shoots you a glance. I said, "Are you okay?" He gives you a concerned look. You look terrible. I do not feel okay at all, dude. You mumble a response. You need to talk to me, sleeper. Seraphin gives you a look. He sighs. I know something happened back when we were leaving Hexport. What do you mean? I saw it, sleeper. I saw something change in your eyes. He pauses, looking for the right way to explain. They were cold, fixed. I've never seen that before. He looks away. Back when we first met, I knew at once you were human. I knew because of your eyes. I never met a sleeper before, but I knew immediately that you were no machine. It was obvious. But then, on the rig, he shivers. I couldn't see that anymore. I don't know what happened. What did it feel like? You close your eyes and recall the moment. Remember Lane's voice, the rig hot and close, the numbness. Then you see it glittering in the non-space of your mind, thin and bright, like spider silk, a thread. A connection between your mind and something else. You open your eyes and Seraphin's expectant face. You try to think of how to describe what you just felt, but words fail you. Still, you know you felt it. The invisible hand of a signal linked to your mind. The thought makes you shiver. We need to get you checked up. We need to know what's happening. Seraphin gives you a stubborn stare. This isn't just about you. But where? I've been asking around. Seraphin's face is set with determination now. There's another station near this one. Flotsam. Oh yeah, is it next to Jetsam? It's a mess. An accumulation of wrecks and docked ships. It also houses some of the best artificers in the wash. We should go there as soon as the rig is ready. I'll think about it. You can't do it for yourself. Do it for me. Seraphin shakes his head. Please. Look. He pauses. I know I don't know what it's like to be a sleeper. I understand there are things you can't tell me. Can't show me. But I do know how fear can keep you from doing what you need to do. I'm not gonna nag you about it, he sighs, but it needs to be done. He passes by you as he leaves the bunks, squeezing your shoulder as he does, leaving you to your thoughts. You finish getting dressed, feeling your body, its strangeness, even though you wish you didn't. At the very least, you think, you need to find someone who can stop you falling apart. Maybe Flotsam is not such a bad idea. You push the thought to the back of your mind. There's a cycle ahead, and the rig isn't ready. When it is, then you'll see. Okay, so if I reroute the flow... Okay, it does give me saving spring. Okay. Nice, nice. Nice to good shit. You know what? We can roll the dice. Ooh! Alright, so next turn we can finish that as well. Use our glitch dice to maybe get some food. Okay, and negative outcome is still +1 food. Not bad, not bad. I like that we have a button to immediately take us home. I think that's some good quality of life. As you drift lazily down to your ship's mess, you hear raised voices. You steel yourself for a moment at the entrance, then slip inside. Seraphin sits, hooked onto his usual stool, his slate glowing beside him. He's shaking his head as you enter. Bliss, meanwhile, is floating freely, gesticulating sharply as they explain something important. I don't see why not. Bliss chops at the air. Not like you have an alternative. You can get the cryo. It'll take time, but we can get it. That was the deal. Seraphin speaks calmly, trying to placate Bliss. Sleeper! Bliss spots you entering, and they turn to Seraphin. Let's see what Sleeper thinks about it. About what? I'm guessing Bliss wants to join the crew. They both fall silent for a moment. Seraphin sighs. Rig's ready, Sleeper. Bliss gestures around the mess. I fixed it. Hell, I've improved it. She's purring thanks to me. Now, what did you say? Having done such an incredible job, I deserve to be paid properly for my work. A calculated look crosses their face. A refit and retune like this would typically cost my clients hundreds of cryo, even if I was feeling charitable. Seraphin sighs loudly. He knows where this is going. See, I could make you pay, and maybe you could even scrape the cryo up, but not without taking a contract and taking this ship off station, leaving me in the lurch. Wouldn't do that. Seraphin starts, but Bliss holds up a hand to shush him. So, I have a proposition, one that clears the debt completely. They pause. I will turn around the open sign to this little bay of mine and join up with you. You keep me in work, give me my split, give me transit to wherever you're headed. I'll even keep the rig of yours working for free. They shrug. What could be better than that? Us paying and being on our way, with no hangers on. Seraphin folds his arms and looks at you. Tell them, Sleeper. No, actually, Seraphin, we need an engineer, because I can't fucking do engineering for shit. In fact, the fact that I couldn't do engineering is exactly why the rig got blown up in the first place, and I got so fucked up as well. So, no, we're taking Bliss with us. Also, Bliss is cool. Bliss grins at Seraphin. See? Sleeper gets it. You can use my help. I'm an excellent engineer, a tidy shipmate, and a half-decent chef. I'm done with Far Spindle. Done taking not enough jobs for not enough cryo on a station where I know nobody. They pause, satisfied. You're welcome. Seraphin holds up his hands. Look, you appreciate it, but we're on the run, Bliss. Trust me, you're better off here. He gives them a serious look. Even telling you this could put you in danger. Bliss pauses. And they start laughing. On the run? They shake their head, smiling. You expect me to be scared off by that goofy shit? It is true. Bliss just shrugs. System is at war. Health is spiraling into a chaos, into a crisis. Everyone's got something. I knew you were at Hexport. Seraphin looks at them, open-mouthed, searching for a retort. What happened there? Who's to say it won't happen here? Okay, I don't know who's speaking here. Oh, okay, so Bliss is like, I know you were at Hexport. What happened there? Who's to say it won't happen here? I'm not sitting around and watching this all play out any longer. They take a breath. Something has to give. Bliss turns to Seraphin. Look, you've done your due diligence or whatever. You're on the run. I've been warned. I accept the risks. That's it. At the end of the day, your ship is clamped onto my bay. As long as you know my encryption protocols, there's not much left to discuss. Seraphin shakes his head, small smile crossing his face. They've got us there. He looks at you, and then at Bliss. Looks like we've gained a crewmate. He unhooks from his stool, and I'm moving to the engine room. He drifts off towards the bunks to gather his things. You and Bliss exchange a nervous look. Sleeper, welcome aboard. Bliss smiles, gives you a half-hearted mock salute. You leave Bliss in the galley and head for the cockpit. The rig is ready to fly again, but the question is, where to take her next? Serpent mentioned Flotsam. Short starboard journey from here. It's a busy station where you might find an artificer to help diagnose your glitches and errors. Sunward, meanwhile, the Helion Gate, an abandoned and uninhabitable megastructure left over from the Solheim days. Maybe good for salvage, but not an easy place to survive. And beyond that, well, as they say, the belt is wide. At least now, you have a functioning ship. Yeah. Irradiated zone, impassable hazard. Oh, so that wasn't the flux. That was a nuke. And I see it's straight flight, so I'd have to go here, go to dark side. The red is probably danger. Has nav required. The hollow. Interesting. It feels like once we go to Flotsam, our next place is probably going to be Holmes Rock. Okay, let's help this thing. We're gonna burn our glitched one. See if it does work. Nope. That's okay. We only need one pip. You watch from the docking bay's viewing window as the crumpled, vast hull of the Springtide is finally welded shut by a score of bright torches, flickering against its side. Everywhere I look, I see you, Crisis. The voice comes from behind you. You turn to see a man floating there, watching the repair work. You don't recognize him. Well, you out there. Open the crew. He turns to you with a serious look. Our Spindle needs the water. You aren't wrong. He pauses, watching you carefully. I haven't seen you on the Spindle before. What, if I may ask, is your business here? I'm running a crew. I see. Springtide is my ship. His face remains impassive. At least, I am her captain. Do not own her. The Lodic Syndicate, my employer, was the one who put her into service. Glad to meet you. He bows his head gently. You have my thanks for assisting with the repairs. We were caught by some autonomous Conway munitions. He looks out at his ship. The Wellspring run is getting more dangerous every cycle. And after Hexport, he pauses. Do not expect things to improve. You both go quiet for a moment. The loss of the station still inspiring silence in anyone who mentions it. Tell me, Malik meets your eye. As a sleeper, do you feel you have advantages over others? Or does your particular condition provide only weaknesses? A bit of column A, a bit of row C. I'm not answering that. I plead the fifth. I sleep the fifth. I have some advantages. He nods. Certainly. You showed this with your work on the Springtide. He gestures towards the Springtide. Your work on my ship only evidences your abilities. You far outperformed even my own crew. He looks to you, angling his head in deference, in conditions that are usually deadly. Sadly, despite even your good work, our losses have been great. The administration at the Fard Spindle are not happy. We are to be impounded here until the Lodic Syndicate fulfills the agreed water freight. He frowns at the crumpled-looking ship. War continues to pressure the belt. What will you do? This is where you are needed, Sleeper. Alec folds his arms. My crew tells me you have a ship. You have workers. This is what I need. As we fled from the Conway attack, our navigator registered something of great interest. A water-rich asteroid. One I believe is previously unknown to the syndicates. He comes a little closer. For now, I have sworn him to secrecy, as I must you. If this asteroid could be surveyed, its value confirmed, it would more than make up for the shortfall of the springtide. He pauses thoughtfully. Let's let him continue. I want you to survey the asteroid for me. It is a simple enough job, but its location, so close to the edge of the wash, problematic. However, you've shown yourself to be very competent. If you're careful, there's no reason you should have problems with Conway, or any other hostile party for that matter. Hostile party? Alex shrugs. The wash is where the orbits of the inner system and the starboard belt conspire to bring vessels, objects, and all kind of wanderers together. It is a territory of opportunists. I will, of course, reimburse you with a portion of the fee the Far Spindle administrators are withholding from me. 250 cryo is my offer. Why not do it yourself? As I have said, my ship and crew are impounded. Meanwhile, I do not believe the Lodic Syndicate would appreciate me taking their ship on this particular excursion. Alec passes you a thumbnail drive. Here are the details on the tests I need you to run for the survey. A sample core of ice from deep within the asteroid should give you enough material to work with. You notice a member of the Springtide's crew waiting quietly at a distance. Alec nods to them discreetly. This is a delicate matter, Sleeper. Survey the rock, and on your return, broadcast the results to my personal terminal. Hey, get that bush out of here. What are you doing? Of course, the bisexual crimes get such a beautifully vibrant plushie. The frequency is in that data. He pauses, meeting your eye. The results go to me. Only to me. Then, once the matter is resolved, you will be paid. I am needed. He nods to the crew member. But I expect you have all you need. He pauses. I've enjoyed watching you work, Sleeper. Impress me again. With that, he bows a little and drifts away to meet his crew. After watching him go, you turn back to the Springtide. Still impressive, despite being scarred with curls of ice and shiny with fresh welds. You imagine any captain of a ship like that has been through a lot to get to where they are. That makes them a valuable ally or a dangerous adversary, depending on where you are. You hope with Malik, you can find your way to being among the former. So the problem is I still don't have any frickin' fuel. Where can I buy some frickin' fuel, man? I bet I have to get this leveled up more. Let's flip a coin. Flip another coin. Nice. Gaia's Geyer. Getting racked. Kelp cakes? Interesting. Okay. Still need to find, so maybe Spindle Core. By explore. There we go. The far Spindle lives up to its name. Its tall stature, making it a real effort to travel from end to end. The local solution to this problem are the transit tunnels. Massive tubes bolted onto the outside of the Spindle that allow for rapid passage from bottom to top. As you find yourself in one of these cavernous passages, bulky cargo haulers rushing by start to wonder if braving them is worth the effort. Back up! The shout rattles down the bare transit corridor like a gunshot, and is rapidly followed by a crunching impact. You spin back, pushing yourself against the side of a wide cylindrical passage. As you do, a hauler glides past, sending a rippling wave of air across you in its wake. Ooh. Interesting. When the roar subsides, you hear a string of expletives coming from nearby. A spiky-looking figure, clutching some oddly shaped open-frame object, gestures wildly at the vehicle as it glides away. Dickhead! She spits an impressive glob of saliva down the tunnel, and it spirals in 0G. She turns to you in her anger. You see that? Tried to slam me into the wall. Yeah, I agree. Total dickhead. She nods firmly. No shit. Haulers hate us. She sniffs and looks you up and down. I'm supposed to be in the transit system without a vehicle. She squints. Not like I care. Maybe you do. Right. Sorry. Like I said, don't care. Rolls one of her shoulders, stretching it out. You're new here, right? Yeah. Gesture at him. She shrugs sympathetically. Figures. Let me give you a tip. She begins checking her open frame vehicle, tightening bolts and untangling pipes. Avoid the haulers. It gets a lot of them, especially the water haulers. Think they're better than anyone. Don't mess with the stev doors, though. They're good people. They treat like shit by everyone else, just like us. She rapidly plugs and unplugs a series of connectors. They'll show you the shortcuts. She looks up. And never, ever get in a Spindlejack's way. She smiles, spinning the vehicle in her hand. Spindlejack? She thumps her chest. You're looking at one. She pauses, considering something. Then suddenly, she reaches into one of her many pockets, pulls out a small transparent rectangle, punched with holes. Text glints within it, reading Cadet, Strip Line Express. You take it. Cadet, she flexes proudly. That's me. Strip Line is my outfit. Kamal's the dispatcher. Small outfit, but we punch above our weight. Dispatch in here is the Spindle's core, but I run the transit tunnels up and down the Spindle 10 times a cycle. You need anything moving on the Spindle? Data, tech, messages too hot for the hard line? Come find me. I'll do that. She nods. Tell them I sent you. Make sure it gets to me. She kicks off the wall and mounts her bike, triggering a small burst of compressed air to keep herself steady in the transit passage. You hear a buzz of distorted speech from what you assume is her dispatcher. Cadet angles her head to her communicator, mutters back into it. Got a hop, sleeper? She looks over at you, and something flickers in her eyes. An idea? Or perhaps just a realization. You might have to help me with something. Package that's been bothering me. She squints down the passage. Come to the office at Stripline in a few cycles. I'll show you. Sure. I'll call it a favor on account of me saving you from being flattened by a hauler. She winks. Now, get out of here before another hauler tries to squish you. You step back as she twists the handlebars, and a burst of air sends her flying down the transit corridor at an unsettling speed. You watch her go, silently caught off guard by her final remarks. What would a coordinator need you for? Turn the idea over in your head as you find a way out of the transit corridor, back to the safety of the main concourse. There we go. Buy fuel, buy supplies. Let's fill up. Good shit. Cadet's complication. Okay, dude. All right, we can study the manifests. Finish exploring this part of the map. Ooh. Okay, align array. Okay, so we can make some money here. Nice, nice. Meltdown venture. We can work the bar. All right. Let's work the kitchen. Damn. All right.